Looks like there's a new couple in Hollywood. Aaron Pierre, Teyana. Aaron Pierre, that's Teyana.
It just happened. Aaron and Teyana's screaming fight was caught live, and fans saw everything. It wasn't a clip from a show or a leaked video taken in secret. It was real, raw, and right there in front of thousands. Teyana was on Instagram Live, casually chatting with her followers when Aaron suddenly walked into the frame. Her face shifted immediately. What was once a light conversation turned into thick tension. Within seconds, the argument erupted, loud and unfiltered. Aaron looked tense. Teyana's voice rose quickly. Fans were still watching, and they couldn't believe what they were witnessing. What started as a typical live session turned into a full-blown emotional meltdown, and the world watched it all in real time. No one expected Aaron to react the way he did. For months, he'd been the quiet one, always walking away from drama, never saying much. But this time, something in him cracked. He snapped, yelling, "I'm sick of you making me the villain in front of everyone." His voice was loud, shaking, and full of hurt. Teyana fired back instantly, her words sharp. "You make yourself the villain." It wasn't just yelling. It was years of pain bubbling to the surface. Their daughter could be heard in the background, crying softly. That sound pierced through the chaos. Aaron started pacing, grabbing his head with both hands. It was clear he wasn't just angry, he was breaking down. The camera kept rolling, capturing every second of it, until the moment everything went too far. Sources say the fight started long before the live stream. Earlier that day, Teyana and Aaron had reportedly argued over a parenting issue. Teyana didn't want Aaron attending their daughter's school event, but he showed up anyway. That decision didn't sit well with her. By the time he walked into the room during the live stream, the pressure had already built up to a boiling point. Aaron, visibly frustrated, said, "You act like I'm some stranger, she calls me dad." And that's when Teyana snapped, "That doesn't make you one." The words were brutal. You could feel the pain, the exhaustion, and the resentment between them. Fans watching knew this wasn't just about today. This was about everything they had never dealt with finally spilling out into the open. Social media exploded. Within minutes, clips from the live were being shared across platforms. Some fans were heartbroken. That wasn't acting. That was real pain. Others felt Aaron deserved a chance to speak. He's always been quiet. Let the man say something. But many stood with Teyana. Don't gaslight a mother trying to protect her kid. The internet was divided. Hashtags like #TeyanaLiveMeltdown, #AaronFightsBack, and #FamilyDrama Uncut started trending. Everyone had an opinion, and no one was holding back. Some fans broke down the video second by second, analyzing every word, every look, every breath. People weren't just watching, they were trying to understand how things got this bad. The live ended abruptly. Teyana realized the fight was happening in front of an audience and immediately shut it down. But it was too late. The damage had been done. Insiders say she was livid after ending the stream. She stormed off and refused to speak to anyone. Neighbors later reported hearing more yelling even after the camera cut off. Aaron was seen leaving shortly after, slamming the door on his way out. His face was unreadable. Teyana reportedly stayed inside, crying. What was supposed to be a normal Q&A session turned into something raw and irreversible. And the internet had seen it all. In the hours that followed, fans tried to piece everything together. They dug up old interviews, rewatched past live streams, and revisited moments where things had felt off. Some fans pointed out signs that the relationship had been unstable for a long time. One person tweeted, "This wasn't a random fight. This was years in the making." A few conspiracy theories popped up. Was it staged for attention? Or was it a cry for help from two people deeply hurting? Most fans didn't care about theories. They were too focused on the emotional wreckage they had just witnessed. Whatever the truth was, one thing was certain: the pain was real. And it was no longer private. This wasn't just a fight, it was a breaking point. A moment where all the buried resentment, unspoken frustrations, and emotional bruises between Aaron and Teyana exploded into full view. It wasn't just about shouting or a disagreement. It was about what happens when love erodes, when pride begins to speak louder than understanding, and when two people who once promised to protect each other instead end up publicly tearing each other down. What played out wasn't just painful for them. It was devastating for everyone who watched, especially their daughter, who stood once again in the middle of a storm that wasn't hers to weather. From the outside, Aaron and Teyana's relationship had always been marked by complexity. Their connection was intense, full of passion and history, but also laced with tension. People who followed them might have suspected things weren't perfect, but no one could have anticipated the level of collapse that was caught on that live stream. The look in both their eyes wasn't just rage, it was grief. It was the exhaustion of two people who fought the same battle over and over again, only to realize they are no closer to peace. And the saddest part of all is that their daughter, the one who needed the most care and protection, found herself yet again caught in the emotional crossfire. Even though the video is over and the feed has ended, the damage lingers. That kind of moment doesn't just fade with time. The words said in anger echo in memory, and the silence that follows is heavy. Fans and followers, once invested in their love story, are now left with a sobering question. How do two people who once built a life together, who shared love and a child, reach this point? What happened behind closed doors that brought them to such a public unraveling? The answers aren't simple. They never are. According to someone close to the situation, this incident wasn't a one-time outburst. It wasn't the first heated confrontation, they've just been good at keeping previous ones hidden. This was the first time the mask slipped in front of the world. And for those who've been paying close attention, the signs were already there. Teyana has been struggling with co-parenting for a while. She reportedly feels like Aaron's involvement in their daughter's life is inconsistent, that he appears when it suits him, not when she needs him most. On the other side, Aaron has been telling friends that he's being kept at arm's length, that Teyana is shutting him out unfairly and turning their daughter against him. These conflicting narratives reveal the real tragedy. Their daughter has become the tug-of-war rope in a game neither parent is winning. And now, that rope is fraying. The emotional toll is beginning to show more clearly than ever before. Teyana, who has always carried herself with strength and composure in the public eye, hasn't said a word since the livestream ended. No emotional quotes, no vague Instagram stories, just silence. And that silence says a lot. It suggests she's in pain, that she's processing, that this time it's not just drama, it's real heartbreak. Meanwhile, Aaron was seen early the next day, leaving a hotel with a look that was anything but composed. There was no signature charm, no attempt to put on a brave face. Just exhaustion. Just defeat. He didn't speak to anyone, didn't smile. He kept his head down, as if the weight of everything that happened had finally caught up with him. People online are wondering if either of them will publicly speak about what went down. Will there be an official statement? A video? An apology? But maybe they don't need to. Maybe the live stream already said everything that mattered. The yelling, the silence between words, the pain in their faces, those were the real confessions. And maybe, just maybe, it's not about what they tell the public next. Maybe it's about what they say and do privately, especially for their daughter's sake. Because that's what this all comes back to, their child. A young girl who is growing up in an emotional environment filled with confusion and hurt. Every time her parents fight, every time they pull away from each other only to reconnect and fall apart again, she's learning something about love. And that lesson is turning into something damaging. She's watching love fall apart, over and over, and trying to understand it through the lens of a child. That's not fair to her. She didn't ask to be the anchor in a broken ship. She didn't ask to be the reason two adults kept orbiting each other when all they did was collide. The hardest part about all of this is realizing that the people hurting the most might not even be fully aware of what their actions are doing. In their pain, Aaron and Teyana are reacting to each other, but in the middle of their responses is a child who keeps losing her sense of stability. Every inconsistency chips away at her emotional safety. And what's worse is that, even if they don't mean to, their unresolved issues are becoming her emotional inheritance. Some fans believe this was the final straw, that after everything, there's no way forward together, even as co-parents. Others still hold on to the idea that they can rebuild, that this was just a particularly bad moment in a relationship full of ups and downs. But regardless of what happens between them, one truth remains crystal clear: their daughter deserves better than this. She deserves a home, whether split or whole, that doesn't echo with shouting. She deserves love that feels safe, not love that walks on eggshells. She deserves clarity, not confusion, not instability. So now, the real question is not whether Aaron and Teyana will get back together, or whether one of them will go live again. The question is whether they'll finally choose to prioritize their daughter's emotional well-being over everything else. Whether they'll be brave enough to set their egos aside and start making decisions that reflect healing instead of hurt. Because what happened wasn't just a fight, it was a mirror. It showed everyone, themselves included, just how broken things have become. And in that reflection, it's clear that if something doesn't change, the damage won't just remain. It will grow. Not just between them, but within the heart of a little girl who didn't ask for any of this. A girl who deserves peace, deserves stability, deserves a childhood that doesn't feel like walking through a battlefield. Whether together or apart, Aaron and Teyana owe her that much. Do you think Aaron was right to finally push back, or did he take it too far? Should Teyana have ended the live sooner, or was this the truth that needed to be seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one isn't just gossip. It's real, raw, and painful. Smash that like if you saw it live, and subscribe for more emotional breakdowns, real celebrity moments, and the stories that remind us just how human these stars really are.